I remember Officer Peter Martin was the one that was doing the commentary that day, and that saying the helicopter changing direction went viral, but I don't even know, because it was such a strange day.
Start to sort of really throw things in the kitchen sink at it, and it just wasn't going to be our day.
I remember what I said. I remember actually saying, we've done them. That's what actually went through my mind.
There was always that wee bit when you look back on it, you think, oh, I wish we kind of went for it and, try to get a point and then, spoil the party type thing.
The gaffer reassuring us, look, just probably likelihood is that we maybe not win the league, but we had to do our job and win the game.
The message was, we need to win the game just to make sure that, we were going to win the title. So we're a very experienced team, and we knew what we had to do, we knew what the message was going into the game, and just to make sure that we, got over the line. It
was electric, because like I said, it was the last when we committed to it, it was a sort of, for the Celtic fans' perspective, in terms of a lot of people were struggling to get their hands on the ticket, but I think about 75%, 80% of the fans in the building that day were Celtic fans, so you sort of had the beach ball mentality, where the beach balls were getting passed about through the supporters.
We had to not get beat by a certain amount of goals that day to try and get into Europe.
Went to the game hoping we were going to win it, but it was in Celtic's hands, their hands.
I wouldn't say I was fully confident, and I don't think anybody can say going into the last game of the season, where you need to win or expect. On that day, I was actually hoping that Hibs would have done us a turn as well, because I wasn't exactly 100% confident in us winning.
I mean, you can imagine, straight away it's euphoric, but I'm one of those people who don't really celebrate goals, and I celebrate at the end of the game when the game's done. So
we didn't actually know that Celtic had scored till maybe 20 minutes after Big City had scored. And Billy Thompson it was, and Monsieur David Lavery were sitting behind us, and they were chapping the window, and he said it's 1-0 to Celtic. And we were like, oh, that's it, it's basically done then.
The first goal goes in, and it makes, there is that relief of, that's it. Well, you got the first goal, that's a good start, but even at that, everybody still sits and stands and thinks, we need more than that. That isn't enough, because Motherwell were having a real go.
Rangers were pushing, obviously good players. Took a wee deflection of Gary Caldwell, I think it was, into the bottom corner, and it obviously gave Rangers and their supporters a huge lift. And
suddenly the atmosphere in the game changed, and I turned around and actually said to Maurice Malpass, I was like, Rangers winning, and he's like, just scored. So it had seeped through, you could tell. That was a change in the game. For me, if you want me to be completely honest about it, that's what felt like the change in the game, because suddenly Celtic, for all their dominance, were only a goal up, and then when Rangers had scored, it was as if there was a different perspective in the game, as in they had so many chances, but they hadn't kind of killed us off. We knew that we were in a good position, that if Motherwell scored, then it was back on. And as I say, he just kept on, the gaffer was over the touchline, kept on saying, keep going. But at that point, Hibs knew as well that if they didn't get beat, I think it was more than 3 or 4 goals, then they were in Europe that year. So it was basically you have the ball, we have the ball. It was a strange game.
Maybe you get a few rumblings around the stadium among the Celtic fans, but again, it doesn't change your sort of mindset and approach to what you're trying to do at the time. You know that if you win the game, you're going to win the league. So we probably expected Rangers to score at Easter Road at some stage.
By that point into the second half, then it came through. Somebody says to you, you're standing there, because nobody was sitting down. There was that kind of, everybody standing, arms folded, and that kind of, sense of foreboding. So, watching the game, and then it comes through, somebody says they've scored at Hibs.
It's now with Jim Patterson. We will stay at Fir Park, because right now Rangers have a 1-goal advantage at Easter Road. Cragen's going to play this. It's a long one. Up there, Varga, fallen, shot! He's fallen, he scored! He scored! McDonald scored for Motherwell!
The feeling was, I remember what I said. I remember actually saying, we've done them. That's what actually went through my mind, because I didn't actually realise the time until Scotty scored, and I was right behind it. And how the goal ends up happening when you look at it for a sort of a scoring a goal point of view, where it sort of played forward, headed out, and then Big Richie, for the life of me, when I still see the replay of the goal, I don't know what he's even thinking. Like, he's trying to volley as it comes out the air, and it hits it in at the ground, it hits Scott in the chest, and he hooks it, and I'm right behind it. I'm actually right where I'm at left back, I can see it, you're like, that's in. So then I glanced at the sort of clock and it said 87, 88 minutes, and you were kind of like, there is literally no lot of time left, and you knew Celtic needed to score because you knew Rangers were winning in the other game.
Billy Thompson tapped on the, I don't actually know how he knew, if he was listening on his phone or if it was like coming through in a message or whatever, but he tapped the back of the dugout again and said, Motherwell scored. And we're like, no chance. And he's like, I'm serious, they've scored. So we're all saying on the bench, Motherwell scored, and then the next minute the Rangers fans erupted as if we had scored.
Celtic need to get the ball forward. Sutton is up there. McDonald's got a chance, one-on-one. McDonald, Britain's inside the box with him. Can he finish Celtic off? McDonald, he scored again. It's all over. McDonald has scored. 2-1 Motherwell.
Next minute, somebody shouts, Motherwell scored. Everybody's all looking at each other. Next minute, big roar. One next to me, it's true. And then it just felt like 30 seconds later, bang, goal, 2-1.
I think the first one was the one that really got them going. The second one just kind of put them into full party mode and realised what they were on the verge of doing.
By the time the second goal had went in, you knew. So, you had that, there was a few minutes to kind of try and process that the title was away, that was it, it was gone.
But it wasn't to be. And then once Scott got the equaliser, then you start to sort of really throw things in the kitchen sink at it, and it just wasn't going to be our day. It probably summed up the season that year. We weren't at our best, and it was starting to come to the end of that great generation of players.
Didn't know it was Scott McDonald, didn't even know. It kind of takes you when it just feels they've scored, they've equalised the next minute, and you're looking all around about one saying, oh, it is, and you're like that. And then no sooner had we jumped up and down, it was like somebody went, they've scored again, and you're like, who scored again? Then it came through, it was Motherwell.
The game towards the end, it was, when you look back at it now or think back to it now, it's completely surreal. It was played at a walking pace, like we invented walking football there and then. I
think our game finished before theirs, and it was the same, everybody standing at the side of the pitch waiting to hear as their game finished, and then as soon as it came through that their game had finished, then that's when the celebrating started.
And then somebody went, their game's finished, we're winning the league.
It wasn't until after it when everybody sort of said that it was actually nearly here. It was nearly here, and then obviously it's a U-turn, and then it's heading to Edinburgh.
We didn't have any stuff to celebrate. We didn't have any drink, any T-shirts. Like normally when you win the league, you've got a T-shirt ready for it. We didn't have anything like that. Well, we thought we didn't have anything, but Jimmy Bell, the kit man, had it in the bus. So that's why we went back into the changing room before we came back out. The wee man had his T-shirts and stuff, and I think he went and done a deal with the Hibs kit man to get us some beers and champagne and that. So if it wasn't for the wee man, we would have had nothing.